I just decided to hit record. Thoughts of an eighth house Leo. I don't even know what I'm entitled is. But I'm just sitting here thinking. I was like, what's something ridiculous I can do right now? I can either go through my subscriber list, not subscriber list, my subscriptions, and explain why I'm subscribed to each of them. But then I was thinking to myself, like, there's people I specifically subscribe to just because I know what their signs are. And right now it's Leo season. So a lot of Leos are out. In bold on YouTube and are saying, "Oh, it's my birthday." So I'm gonna do a little bit of the same thing, and I'm gonna actually talk about YouTube and the world, and maybe react to a couple of videos. I don't know how long this is gonna be at all, but this is a variety channel. I have a variety of things that are random. So, it just is what it is. So I'm going to share the screen whenever videos like come up. Oh, Omni. Omni is a brilliant creator. He has a lot of subscribers, a lot of views. Is a Leo, so I recommend people subscribe to him. He's a bald Leo, like his head is shaved like completely bald, which is a feature for Leos. We love our manes, we love our hair. Like you can look at my channel, you can see that my hair has changed through the years. So yeah, one video a year. Maybe I'll have more subscribers if I posted more videos. It was a lot more engaging. So I'm gonna try to do more videos. It stopped being the worst YouTuber and the worst content creator in the world. But I am an 8th house Leo, so sometimes I like just being in the background. Because when I get in the forefront, I have to really be in the forefront. And I'm really leading. And I am just tired of the whole cliche. Leo's leading, and Leo's always being on top or massively doing things in the public eye or having to promote or put on some kind of show. So I'm not really, it's not like I'm incredibly shy or I can't talk, because I've done a lot of public speaking and I've done so many things outside of the internet that require me to have skills that require me to be very personable. So that's where I'm rooted and where I'm most happy. I do like being by myself. I do like solitude. Solitude makes me sane. It truly does. As an 8th house Leo. But anyway, I was talking about my subscribers. But anyway, I subscribed to because he's Leo. And I thought that he was let's see let's see if there's any videos of here's another video of 7 reasons 1 billion lions will lose to all 721 Pokemon featuring Shofu. So is Shofu attacking Lions? So Shofu attacking Leos? I think we should click on this one.
If my man was wearing this, I would be all over him.
That smells really good.
It smells like my guy's cologne.
Okay.
It smells really good, yeah.
Smells
really
good.
sexy. Oh, that smells really good.
I would use it, but like if a guy smelled like that too, I'd be like, oh, I would use this on myself.
Most name brand bars and body washes you rub on your skin are classified by the FDA as synthetic detergent.
I'm gonna react to
It's not even
commercials,
real
too.
soap. Stop marinating your
Just
man meat
gross.
in unholy ingredients that are harmful to
Also,
your well-being, body, and sperm.
When you watch commercials all the way through,
Start treating your body to the natural, nourishing, lathery
it
goodness of
benefits
Dr.
content
Squatch
creators
soap.
too.
Get
Just
ready
that.
to step out of the shower feeling alive.
Something-
I'm talking about natural,
see that you
nourishing,
can watch
cold-pressed,
an entire
hand-cut soap for men.
commercial all the way through. And you do it. It's advertising time that YouTube is. You're still doing that. Plus, it's also good for my monetization later on too. 'Cause I skip these. And it's
So go to drsquatch.com to feel, smell, and
How you
shower
really
like
supporting the
this
platform
every
if
day.
you're
Our soap is
skipping
handmade
ads
here in
and
America
content
using a process that's been perfected over thousands of years. It's perfect. Big Soap cuts corners and strips
I know, I'm
out
about to
all
start
the
another
sudsy
apocalypse
goodness in
on
order
that
to
one.
make production cheaper. First, I'm going to have you read our competitors and just
I bet
go
some
ahead
people
and
hope
give
my
that a
video
shot.
is dead on
Hydrogenated
YouTube
tallow
now.
acid,
And there's
pentaerythritol,
dislikes.
Pentasodium,
I'm
pentatine.
gonna upload anyway.
Your poor
'cause I
balls,
want to.
all dry, empty, and sad.
And luckily,
But not
this is like
Dr.
the second time
Squatch. Now go ahead and read
gonna
Dr.
really upload
Squatch's
this
all
year.
natural ingredients and tell me what you think of those.
Pine tar extract, pine oil,
Rosemary, cypress,
oatmeal, sand,
Pine
and
tar
orange
extract.
essential oil.
Pine-
sage, lavender essential oils.
Sounds a little bit better. I don't need a chemistry class for this one.
We use a
Sounds
base of
like
olive
they
oil,
made
coconut oil,
African
and
black
shea
soap
butter.
out of a
Then add
pine tree.
exfoliants like sea salt and oatmeal and natural scents like citrus and essential oils. We pour this heavenly mixture into a mold where the saponification takes place. This is the cold process, the foreplay of soap making. Here comes the love. Once ready, the soap is hand cut into bars, scent tested, packaged, given a little pep talk, and shipped right to you. You'll feel like our team is made up of strong dads, sensitive lumberjacks, and buff therapists. It is. Time for you to get the right tool for the job, because you're worth it, my friend. We ship it right to your door. And with a 100% satisfaction guarantee, if it's not the best bar of soap you've ever used, it's on us. Mike, tell me, why hasn't he clicked the link, Mike?
I don't know, man.
Click the link!
Click the link,
Click it for
bro,
Mike!
please.
Click the link! It's your balls we're talking about here.
I lost my job as a sales associate.
Restaurant manager.
If you've lost your health coverage or you're not sure about your options, Get Covered is here for you.
I found hope.
Here's the other thing.
Visit getcovered.com or call
I'm old
800-836-3116 and get started today.
And I'm used to the YouTube being totally free and full of dweebs.
So if you guys didn't know, there's this really silly question that's pretty much traveling throughout the entire
It's pretty much
Twitter
an old video.
universe. The question is, who would win between 1 billion lions versus all 721 Pokemon? I know, just saying the question out loud makes me feel not so more smart. And then at first, I stayed out of the argument because it's pretty clear who would win. Pokemon. But then as the day went on, I saw all these people talking about, yo, lions would actually win. Like, have you not seen Pokemon the movie, or the movies, or the show? Like, every single movie that comes out is about some Pokemon who's about to destroy the world. Like, really, bro? So me being me, later on I posted a tweet, and I said, hey, if this tweet reaches 100 favorites, I will do this video. And within like 2 or 3 minutes, it reached 100 favorites. I'm not a very smart man. So without further ado, here are 7 reasons why 1 billion lions would lose to 721 Pokemon, featuring me and the legendary Shofu himself. Number 1, lions are just medium-sized animals. Pokemon, they are actual monsters. I mean, really? This is a no-brainer. Lions can't do anything outside of scratching you and biting you and maybe tackling you. But let's just assume for a minute that lions had the awareness to work together and fight Pokemon in some all-out Pokemon lion war, which they don't. Lions aren't even built for all-out war. These guys hide and then they creep up on their prey and then they jump on the weakest of the bunch. Pokemon.
He only gave lions 3 moves. He gave them scratch, bite, like, is that all he gave them? Like scratch and bite and tackle? He forgot about roar. Come on. How are you a Pokemon fan? You forget about roar, man. 5-year-old video, I'm just joking.
On the other hand, those are the real gangsters.
Don't come for
You can be in your
lions. I
own
like
backyard,
lions.
just
And I
taking
like
the
Pokemon
trash,
to see.
walk in the grass, and then boom, it's time to fight. And it doesn't even
Kinda
matter
different.
if you're stronger. Like these level 1 Rattatas and level 1 Pidgeys be coming up to you like, hey you with the backpack, you walking in my grass? You walking in my caves? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. And even if I bring out my level 99 Charizard, because you know everybody who was anybody picks Charmander, these little dudes scratch and tackle and tail whip you until there's nothing left. They don't even...
I'm going to have to put a pause on that one too. He is totally correct on that one. Everyone picks Charizard. But if you're truly a master, it doesn't even really matter what starter Pokemon you pick at all. You could beat the game with any of them. Any of them. Like, it doesn't... Plus, inevitably, people end up changing up their teams when it gets to Elite Four anyway. Unless they choose the Fire Starter. Because sometimes the Fire Starter can be super powerful and can just power through. So, he's right. Totally right about that. But if you want like a more difficult experience, a more challenging experience, choose the other starters.
Pokemon were built for war. Alright, Shofu, take point number 2 for me.
Number 2, ghost-type Pokemon. You're not about to sit here and tell me that a lion is ravaging a ghost. That doesn't even... Can we think about this? How does that even sound? That doesn't make any sense. Now, some people might make the stupid-ass argument that when a lion uses Bite, it counts as a Dark-type move because Bite in Pokemon is a Dark-type move. Well, guess what? Lions are not Pokemon. And if you can make that argument, then that means my Bite is also a Dark-type move, and that just doesn't make sense because I am not biting a ghost. What? Have you seen Paranormal Activity? If it was that easy, do you really think that these people would not have tried it? These people out here getting blown back by ghosts and demons all movie. I know. My logic is too strong. I know.
Well. This is a very interesting video so far. I'm glad I'm reacting to this. 5-year-old video. A 5-year-old collab video too at that. So no one really cares about it. So hopefully this video doesn't go viral at all whatsoever. Or get popular at all. This is just for the fans on my profile. Exclusively. Or whoever gets to see it. Because it's just going to be a public video. So. But on biting ghost. If you have the spirit to do it, you can do that. You can make your spirit large enough to actually fully devour a ghost. I've seen it done before. Or maybe I've done it before. I don't even want to go into that. That's like super dark. But there are amazing secrets of the 8th house. And they should stay secret. Like, even the bit about making one soul big enough to actually devour a ghost.
You can't go against it. I know. You don't even have to tell me. Omni, what's number 3?
Number 3, Pokemon can control the weather. Like, do you guys even understand the severity of that statement? That means Pokemon can create tornadoes and hurricanes like that. Pokemon can create thunderclouds that just drop thunderbolts on these lions until they just die out.
Okay. I'm going to react to another video. Because I am cool like that. Let's see. It's amazing how Omni has really gotten comfortable with himself over the years, from that video to how he is now. Ah, yes. Kingsley. He's always been an interesting personality. He's not a Leo. Kingsley is, as far as I know, a Capricorn. And they know how to be critical. So that's why he's able to bitch about things and be popular. And I'm subscribed to him. I've been subscribed to him for years. And he does what he does. He's entertaining. He's funny. And he puts his little jokes in. And he's also gotten really comfortable with himself as well, too. I love very confident black gay man. It just close to home. You know, close to home. I love black gay men so much. I help multiple black gay groups. That's my type of activism. I love it. And I want to get back to it. I've just taken a break from it for a while. Like, if you burn out on things, it's just not good. And also, if you're an activist feeling the burnout, stop. Stop. There are people younger than you who are passionate and driven, who need that seat that you have, who need what you have right now. You can find something else. You can always find something else. But trust me, like, when black gay men grow, or even black men grow into themselves, you can take the gay part out too. When black men grow into themselves, it's an amazing and beautiful thing to me. And I can't help but respect it. I really can't. And then there's this other Leo. I'm going to watch a little bit of Hassan Abi. It's Leo Caesar, and we're celebrating Leos. And that's what I want to do.
Here's the funny part. What do you call it? Vote by mail or absentee voting in Florida. The election system is safe and secure. Tried and true. Florida's voting system has been cleaned up. We defeated Democrats' attempts at change. So in Florida, I encourage you all to request a map ballot and vote by mail. Dude, so I was going to talk about this. So Trump has, of course, been lying about the absentee ballots and vote by mail and how predisposed it'll be to fraud. And, of course, in America, there are a lot of states that do a load of vote by mail, specifically Florida, because there's a higher percentage of wealthy old people that don't want to go to the polling places and engage in vote by mail. There are Republican officials in these states, also in Utah, for example, another red state. All these Republican officials are like, dude, what the fuck are you doing if you keep saying this? Like, your supporters,
I'm only going to say this once. Leos are fucking blessed to look gorgeous. And this is one of them. This is one of them. This Turkish thing, Hassan, this dude. And I just talked about liking black gay men. So, but this guy's very he's got a good thinking instrument. Good thinking instrument. But let's continue. He's critiquing Donald Trump here. In the past, well, I'm gonna make a video about that. That's coming.
Your supporters are not going to vote. You are hurting us as well. In an effort to hurt the Democrats, you are hurting us as well. So they've come out and spoken out against Donald Trump's takes on vote by mail, especially in states where they've been doing vote by mail for a very long time. Now, is this process going to not be perfect? Of course not. Donald Trump is making matters worse, having like a openly anti Postal Service Postmaster General. That appointment was deliberate. Harming the USPS is certainly not a good thing to do at any given moment, especially not before a...
It's really not a good thing to do at all. What harming the USPS will do is fuck up small businesses. You know, the precious small businesses that ship packages around America, that don't pay FedEx, or the other, what's the other company that ships shit? Whatever big prices. But hell, like, even Amazon prices are fucking ridiculous. And Jeff Bezos is trying to make the world. He's trying to buy the world, actually. It's really interesting. Like, he's bought so much. He's selling so much. He's making so much. Like, think about it. That man is... If you could put the Monopoly hat on a guy, or the Monopoly man was a man in real life, that's Jeff Bezos. And let's all be real. If the Monopoly man was the real man in real life, that's Jeff Bezos. Like, I'm surprised Exxon hasn't sold himself to Amazon yet. That's next. How will Jeff Bezos fuel all of his vehicles when they're doing deliveries at a cheaper, lower price? Buy Exxon. What's the worst that the capitalists have done anyway? Everything the capitalists touch is fucked up and they want to monopolize anyway.
Gigantic pandemic. It's just a nationwide voting in the middle of a pandemic. It's just terrible, 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 terrible stuff. And vote by mail has been successful in even red districts in the blue state of California. So again, vote by mail ultimately will have issues as a consequence of our underfunded postal service. But regardless of that, it's still better than forcing people to go to a diminished number of polling stations and waiting for 4 to 6 hours to go out and vote like people did in Georgia. And now even Republicans are pushing back. I don't think Trump cares about possibly depressing Republican turnout for the election. He thinks that they're all going to vote for him no matter what, so he may be setting it up for a rejection of the election results if it's close or delayed. Yes, that's precisely what he's setting it up for. That's also the other reason why
I think Trump is pulling a wool over everyone's eyes with that. He's fighting and fighting and fighting the voter by mail thing. But it's a gift to him for two reasons. He can fight it and fight it and fight it, and the Democrats will go crazy about it and focus their energy on it. And it'll be a bargaining thing when it isn't really a big deal in the first place. Why isn't it a big deal in the first place? Because are we going to say that, like, vote by mail? Is all vote by mail illegitimate? So what's coming off of U.S. bases is illegitimate around the world is illegitimate, so they can't vote? That's all illegitimate? So how does that make any sense at all? Like, how, like, if vote by mail makes elections illegitimate, why how are the military votes being counted then on that same token? So that's the other thing about it. Like, I feel like it's really a trick. And the keystone to the trick is he can use it to deny whatever election result there is. So if there's a huge turnout against him, he can always deny it's like the voter by mail. You know, the Democrats are stuffing the ballot and this and this and this. I want a recount and this and etc. So that's a gift for him and his supporters as well, because they'll be able to bitch about that and say the same thing and be xenophobic as hell, like per usual. Because they still want voter ID too. When normally people who have the ability to vote don't vote anyway. It just is what it is. And what it's what it is. It's just sad, and it definitely needs to be changed.
He wants immediate answers. Another thing that Donald Trump has consistently said, this is a two-part approach. One, you diminish the legitimacy of, or you try to undermine the legitimacy of mail-in ballots, okay? You try to depress voter turnout, but most significantly, the goal that you're trying to do here is to diminish the credibility of the election, right? Election results. The second thing that Donald Trump has also been saying is we need to have answers immediately on the night of November 3rd. That's not going to happen. With coronavirus cases surging the way it is, we're not going to have immediate results. That's just not going to happen. It's going to take at least a week, maybe even longer than that, to get all of the results.
Is that Alex Jones?
From the entire country. We will probably get estimates, but the reality is we're not going to get results that night. And if the numbers that I have seen so far, the estimates of what percentage of Democrats are going to be voting with absentee ballots or voting by mail versus what percentage of Republicans are going to go and vote in person, it seems like Trump is talking about having the election results immediately readily available exclusively so he can cause even more chaos and even more commotion, because it might be favorable. The incomplete information might be favorable towards Republicans. If the preliminary results coming out of most of these states favor Republicans, especially in battleground states, but then absentee ballots start rolling in and vote by mail results start rolling in and Democrats end up winning, he could just turn around and be like, nope, doesn't matter. I'm the president and I'm still going to be the president. It doesn't matter. Now, there's also another third problem that is beyond the election and the election results. And that problem is Trump will remain president for 11 additional weeks. And America, in all of its infinite glory and foresight, does not actually have a comprehensive transition plan. It's all just a matter of following tradition. Technically, Trump will still remain president even after realizing that he hasn't won for 11 fucking weeks. We'll see what happens in those 11 weeks after if Donald Trump loses the presidency. CNN just grilled the Trump person about vote by mail.
Gotta stop you. You brought up New York. Fraud in general, statistically insignificant. You were talking about fraud and you talked about New York. It's not fraud, Mercedes.
Okay,
there is no evidence of fraud.
We know that there is mail-in fraud that has happened in certain, especially in
statistically
the targeted
insignificant.
states. In Pennsylvania, in Philadelphia, we saw the Philly judge basically talk about this election fraud. We've seen these cases across the board in certain targeted states. And so we have an issue with mail-in fraud. You might not think so.
We do not. We do not have an issue with mail-in fraud. The most high-profile cases of electoral fraud in the form of stealing ballots were committed by Republicans. So that's also kind of a funny thing, including one in West Virginia and another case in North Carolina. So that's hilarious that they just keep saying, like, there's mail-in fraud, mail-in fraud, mail-in fraud. It's like, well, Republicans are doing it. But even then it doesn't matter because it's, again, even in that circumstance, it's statistically insignificant and it gets caught when the results are completely different than the actual poll results. When the exit polls do not reflect reality by a significant margin, you do a recount and you very quickly recognize that there is some fraudulent shit going on, and it doesn't matter. Voter fraud is absurd, but we should be worried about election fraud. We are never worried about election fraud because election fraud is done by Republicans. In this country, voter suppression, systemic ways of making sure that significant percentages of the population are unable to vote is committed by Republicans. And they try to do it in with any legal loophole that they have, whether it be voter ID, whether it be purging people from the ballots. Democrats engage in this in primaries as well. Democrats do this a lot in the primaries, or within the DNC's election structure. When it
this guy
comes to the general election, Republicans are the number one, like, key people that do this shit. They are the best at doing it. Voter suppression and election fraud across the board is a almost exclusively right-wing thing.
Then we have the second part, which is like in the case of Nevada, which we have seen clearly that moving towards balloting harvesting, moving towards changing the law at the dead of night in Nevada is going to create 90 days before an election. They are fundamentally changing the voting system where they're mailing out these ballots not verified is very problematic. And that's
Mercedes.
what I think we...
Mercedes, the only evidence that we've seen of ballot harvesting recently was by Republicans, and you know that, in North Carolina, right? They had to redo the election.
Literally Republicans did it, dude. Fucking owned. Fucking get owned, you stupid Mercedes. You are so stupid. Fuck you.
Wow.
All of these dumbass Trump talking heads, they're all so fucking dumb. They're so fucking stupid.
Is this going to be the video? Part 1. Or TLDR. That's what the kids are saying nowadays. TLDR. The TLDR version. I like TLDR. I like the little gray details. I like the full-on DBZ saga version of it. I like when one fight was 20 episodes. That's what I like. Not TLDR, but I'll give you guys a TLDR. When I was saying activism for the right-wing side, I told them straight up, if you all don't retool... I said it really. If you all don't retool and adjust your talking points for 2020 and use 2016 talking points for 2020, then you're going to get your ass handed to you. And lo and behold, we have this. We have this going on. We have Black Lives Matter going crazy. Look, I told the right wing straight up, go pro reparations. You say you're the party of Lincoln. You say you want to free blacks in the Democratic plantation. You're saying that you're pro-civil rights. You're saying the black community is battered. Their fatherless homes that are, you know, X, Y, and Z. The talking points. I'm like, you know, you're still outlining the need for reparations. People got upset. I'm like, look, it's the truth. If right-wingers had taken my advice and went pro-reparations, this whole thing would be a whole nother story. Black Lives Matter would be a whole nother story. The narrative of Republicans being racist and gaslighting racism would be a whole nother story, which they do. They gaslight racism completely, and they're completely racist. And they don't want to change. At all. I've tried. And I'll give my testimony and story about that very, very soon. I'm going to be making a lot more videos. I like this. I might come home after work and make more videos too for my channel. Just because I want more than 54 subscribers. But I like having like a good small classroom size. Because, you know, people get thousands and millions and all of that and lose track. And, you know, I'm fine with knowing a couple people, knowing a few people who make comments, knowing their channel, knowing their content, knowing who they are. That's like what YouTube was. YouTube. It's not everyone tube. It's YouTube, not everyone tube. See what I think of? Okay, let's watch a couple more minutes of Hassan. I appreciate the brilliance of this Leo, and I respect the brilliance of a Leo. Even the ones that which right before this video even started, even the ones that don't particularly like me and that may be beefing with me, or in fact Leos don't really beef with each other because it's so awkward to, from my perspective, it's so awkward to beef or dislike another Leo, because it's like I'm disliking part of a mirror. I like see myself in them, and it's I guess that's where my superficiality and where my narcissism come in, that are attributed to Leos. Sometimes the full on arrogant appeal, the full on big headed kind of thing, larger than the sun, one with the sun.
They're not even stupid. They're evil, okay? They know that they're lying. They don't care. They don't care. They know that they're lying. They get paid to fucking lie. Stop having these dipshits on camera. Oh my God.
Republicans and Democrats both. We have to ensure we preserve the election integrity. And so that's why...
Yeah. We need to preserve the election integrity from the Republicans that are compromising the electoral process. That's what we need to do. Come on, Democrats. This is like exactly the same mentality of Republicans simultaneously claiming that the Democrats are the real racists because the Confederacy was like the Dixiecrats or whatever, and the Republicans were the ones who fought back against the Confederacy while defending Confederate monuments and saying it's heritage, not hate, brother. It's like you can't have both of these opinions in the same fucking brain. They are completely conflicting one another.
Is every problem...
I never got that. I never got that. I never understood it. When I saw it, like we're going to play that back. Hassan just said something brilliant for y'all to understand.
Because the Confederacy was like that are compromising the electoral process. That's what we need to do. Come on, Democrats. This is like exactly the same mentality of Republicans simultaneously claiming that the Democrats are the real racists because the Confederacy was like the Dixiecrats or whatever, and the Republicans were the ones who fought back against the Confederacy while defending Confederate monuments and saying it's heritage, not hate, brother. It's like you can't have both of these opinions in the same fucking brain. They are completely conflicting one another.
It's very problematic, like we have seen
3 times the
same
charm.
mentality.
Republicans and Democrats both. We have to ensure we preserve the election integrity. And so that's why
we need to preserve the election integrity from the Republicans that are compromising the electoral process. That's what we need to do. Come on, Democrats. This is like exactly the same mentality of Republicans simultaneously claiming that the Democrats are the real racists because the Confederacy was like the Dixiecrats or whatever, and the Republicans were the ones who fought back against the Confederacy while defending Confederate monuments and saying it's heritage, not hate, brother. It's like you can't have both of these opinions in the same fucking brain. They are
I'm going to make a Facebook status just about that.
Completely conflicting one another.
It's very problematic, like we have seen in states like New York, where we still don't know who won. It takes a lot of time.
Which has nothing to do with fraud. Okay,
Low IQ Trump supporter.
You can't say on the one hand that mail-in ballots are going to cause fraud, and then talk about the significant issues that come along with universal mail-in ballots, because there are significant issues that are going to come along with it, and there are correct criticisms of it, not criticisms rather, but problems that we need to solve, okay? There are problems that we need to solve with mail-in ballots. It is the only way that we can have a fair and free election during a fucking pandemic, dude. It's so dumb. It's so insanely stupid to be like, oh, well, there's issues with it, so we can't actually use it. There's always fraud. There's always fraud. There's fraud in the current electoral process. What should we do? Should we just not ever... Yeah, you know what? Actually, we should do away with elections to begin with. We should just do away with it. Whoever's the president now should be president in perpetuity, because elections, there's too much fraud, folks. There's just too much fraud happening. Can you imagine if Obama said that? Like, Obama was like, elections have too much fraud, so I am now going to be God leader, and we are instituting Sharia law in the United States of America.
He can help the Postal Service. They say they have ample capacity for this. He's raising questions about whether they do, and yet it's really up to him to ensure that Americans have the right to vote.
That is absolutely right. We have to make sure that we're able to ensure that there are options, including mail-in voting in those states where it works, including absentee ballot.
Yeah, like red states. That's so great. Yeah, if this is the literal counter that like only red states get to do mail-in ballots and like blue states do not, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. You know, in states where it works, like Republican states, so they can go vote freely and then make sure that blue states don't get to vote. I honestly, fuck it, dude.
That's low IQ shit. Yeah, we should totally have mail-in ballots in the red states to where they don't work. In the red states to where there was fraud.
We should just say 100% of the country is Republican.
Brilliantly.
You know, it's just, I think that's a better, safer process. The only way to actually have a fair and free election is to just say that Donald Trump won. Why are we having an election to begin with? There's no reason to have another election, dude. I mean, come on. 4 years is far too short of a period of time for a president to enact meaningful change. I mean, Trump is trying to make America great again. That's why he's running on the 2016 campaign, criticizing the incumbent. Oh, he's the incumbent. Well, he's criticizing the incumbent before him. You know, Obama. Obama didn't do anything about coronavirus. He didn't do anything. Think about that. By the way, that was literally something that Donald Trump said while he was talking to Jonathan Swan. He said Obama didn't have coronavirus testing when he was president. Like, that was a counter talking point. Like, that was a talking point from Donald Trump where he said, Obama didn't have coronavirus testing? Obama failed with it?
For Nevada to change the law 90 days before an election is very problematic. Can we scale this on a national scale? Can this become a national scale in terms of the upcoming election? I think it does possibly produce a problem when the Democrats are pushing for universal mail-in voting.
Okay, you're aware we're in a pandemic.
It's just insane that someone could openly say, like, we don't want more people to vote. It is honestly crazy to me that the Republican Party's current agenda is literally openly stating that they do not want you to go and vote. It is nuts. They're just straight up just saying it too. Like, they're not hiding it. They're not hiding the ball. It's just in your face. They're like, we do not want Americans to go out and vote. At least back in the day, they used to lie. They were like, oh, election integrity, election security. That's why black people shouldn't vote. Like, now they're just like, nah, universal voting is terrible.
Then you have the fact that absentee voting is you're absent from your home state. You request a ballot. They send you the ballot. You send it back. It's verified. And mail-in voting is that you're literally just mailing in these ballots across the board unverified. And that's where it produces a problem. So that's what we want to avoid.
No, but they aren't unverified. You know that there are safety precautions in place, such as barcodes.
The real problem with mail-in ballots, universal mail-in ballots, is how many votes are going to get purged. It's literally the same goddamn ballot. It's just the same exact ballot. It is the same exact thing. The only problem with absentee ballots versus universal mail-in ballot registration, automatic registration and universal mail-in ballots, is that if you are registered to vote, they just send you your mail-in ballot. The only problem, rather, is that around 10%, maybe even 20% of votes could get yeeted in the process because they'll say that the signatures were counterfeit or the signatures didn't match up close.
I seriously wish the electronic system worked. I seriously wish it wasn't hackable or anything like that. I seriously wish that. Because that is the best solution. Don't even have mail-in ballots. No, you have everybody go into fucking City Hall onto a few voting machines or a handful or whatever, or voting stations, and people just go in and vote electronically. Don't even put it into districts. Put it into local city halls. And be like, oh, people will all have to go there, and then there's COVID and all that. Yeah, like that's like this is like a past solution. But how will you do it? COVID now, Dennis. How we do it? This is how we do it. I would have people vote on a .gov site. That's the best way to do it. I have people go directly to a .gov site, submit, put in their ID number. The site will generate a ballot for them. They fill out the ballot, submit the ballot. The ballot is accepted automatically and instantaneously and counted instantaneously as well. Like, all through a .gov site. But people are like, oh, you could have a bunch of bots do it or something like that. That's why you need your ID. And also gives, the Republicans the voter ID thing that they've been wanting at the same time. So, you gotta please both mouths of the snake at the same time of this hydra we call the American political system. So that's my solution. Have people go to City Hall, get a voter ID, and they can vote on a .gov site remotely. They could put in their government issued voter ID, get a ballot generated for them, on a .gov or application, submit the ballot is counted instantaneously. And that's how we should have it, and that should be the system.
Aligned closely with the signature that they had on the record. So that does happen, and that is legitimately a concern. But this notion that like dogs are gonna go out and vote, or you're gonna vote for your dead grandpappy, and that it's going to be statistically significant enough, this illegal activity is going to be widespread and statistically significant enough to like sway the outcome of a result, is completely insane, and has been checked and fact-checked numerous times over by not only Democrats, who are demon rats, as we all know, but also Republicans, who are brave truth-tellers, according to the other Republicans. So, like, George W. Bush had an electoral integrity commission that found that that there is no, like, widespread voter fraud. Donald Trump's very own election integrity commission also came out with zero conclusive evidence that there is widespread voter fraud. It just does not happen. The real problem in this country is that the majority of the voter eligible population does not vote, not the other way around. Okay? That's the real problem. Imagine saying that like too many people are voting in a country where the majority of people who could vote do not. Psychotic. It's completely psychotic. Yeah, I mean, here, this was back in March, but Trump openly he revealed the real problem.
If there is another relief bill, how can we stop lawmakers from dipping into it again for special interest projects? Man, we were just talking about this. Do you want to expand? Can we stop the next one?
It's just the common facts. I mean, they have a majority in the House, and therefore you need their vote, and they want to get certain things. I will tell you this. If you look at before and after, the things they had in there were crazy. They had things, levels of voting that if you ever agreed to it, you'd never have a Republican elected in this country again. They had things in there.
That's it. That's the reason. That's the real reason. And Trump, in his like idiotic word vomit takes, once again revealed the true reason why Republicans are absolutely against universal mail-in ballots. If you made voting easier in this country, if you made voting compulsory and made voting a national holiday, Election Day, a national holiday, the outcomes would be very different. Right now, voters are disenfranchised by numerous different, very legal ways, right? If you are a working class member of the American labor force, it is very difficult for you to vote because you're working. You can't sit in fucking lines for 2 to 3 hours. Most people don't even want to do that regardless, even if they're not working. Which is understandable. Why the fuck should it take you 3 hours to vote? But you certainly can't do that. You certainly can't do that if you're also working on that day. These are very legal ways to make it harder for people to vote.
Damn. Well, on that note, I will end things there.